Hello, my name is Evan Herbert, and I will be presenting on the drone delivery system. Now, to get us started, I wanted to take a brief look at the drone history and how it got to where it is today. So in 1898, Nikola Tesla actually invented the remote-controlled boat and used it on the Madison Square Garden using radio signals. And arguably, I believe this is the birthplace of modern robotics and the usage of drones for future generations. In 1917, Elmer Sperry and Peter Hewitt were able to launch the first successful Hewitt-Sperry automated airplane, or the flying bomb that would drop bombs, fly about 50 miles, and drop them on their designated target. In 1964, the US began using drones as spying vehicles for mission surveillance during the Cold War. This actually led to drone warfare. So people began targeting specifically drones through 1964 to 1975. And started changing them, making them smaller, harder to find, harder to target. Then in the 1970s, drones started being replaced by pilots, or started replacing pilots, and started using them as a new drone warfare weapon. Then in 1994, as you guys have probably all recognized, is the Predator drone. And this was a very iconic and special drone because it was using for surveillance, but it used SATCOM, or satellite communication. And this was huge for drones and push drones forward because it allowed operators to be anywhere in the world and still operate drones from various countries. Then, in February 2002, we had our first ever CIA drone strike. And this actually, if you guys remember, was a failure. They thought they were targeting Osama bin Laden, and they had the wrong target. But nonetheless, this became a huge opportunity, and drone strikes have become more popular ever since. And then next, we're looking currently at police usage of drones. So there's a lot of opportunities for police to survey various cities, and I know LA is one that they're looking at drones to secure and survey the city. But all of this ultimately led to commercial drones. And as many of you know, Amazon was one of the biggest companies heavily exploring drone delivery. And this has been the case since before 2013. And then the number of permits has skyrocketed for the FAA, the Federal Aviation Administration. Just in 2014, they had about 2 permits. In 2015, they skyrocketed up to about 1,000 permits. And then last year alone, they had over 3,000 permits for drone usage. And as you guys probably are aware, drones have used a lot of new technology. They're taking technology that existed and transforming it or inventing new ones specifically for drone usage. And this has been technology like motion tracking, obstacle avoidance, Wi-Fi capabilities is a big one, thermal scanning, autonomous flying, 3D mapping, facial recognition, and improving battery life overall. So this has helped a number of different areas for drone delivery. Drones in general are helping markets grow, markets like agriculture, construction, law enforcement, security, mining, media. Remember when Xavier got their first drone? Now we have a lot of aerial photos and recordings, but it's really helping a lot of different areas. And next is our visual of how that market is looking. Drones overall have been growing exponentially. There is, for commercial and civilian drones, they may grow at a compound annual rate of about 19% by 2020. And this compared to about 5% growth in the military market. So there is a strong interest there. You can see the visual in the top left. Just below that in the bottom left is a visual representation of some of the areas that are using drones. So agriculture doing crop monitoring, tech giants like Facebook and Google are doing solar powered for internet access in remote places. Amazon is using it as well. There's a number of different areas. And the top right is actually a visual representation that Amazon drew up of how they envision the drone space looking. So as you can see, they have two drone flying spaces sectioned off, low speed and high speed. There's a no-fly zone. And they pitched this to the FAA, who is regulating them to make sure that things are in place, pound usage is there, there's proper times for flying, speeds and heights, and just making sure everything is safe for the popularity of drones improving. Now, all of this has a number of pros and cons that you're probably aware through using drone deliveries and not. And many of you are aware of the pros of drone delivery options. Medical delivery in third world countries would be huge, or natural disasters, floods, tsunamis, that sort of thing. You guys are all aware it's more convenient and faster for us to deliver through drones. Whoever company is able to successfully launch drones and have it work, efficiently and effectively would be revolutionary and very high differentiation for that company. It's better for the environment with battery life. You're not using trucks and cars and emitting fossil fuels into the air and anything. And then it's a huge cost saving opportunity, big startup cost, but in the long run, it'll save from paying employees, to paying for gas, paying for the equipment. It's a big opportunity for companies. Now, the cons are really is putting a halting on drones happening. And many of the technologies are in place to deliver it, but there's a lot of legal or insurance or safety things that people have to get down first. This is a new area that insurance has to look into, legal has to look into, FAA has to monitor airspace problems to make sure that everything is in line and they're not just rushing into this. One that I'm calling the human condition is a big area along with landing issues. The human condition basically is saying that this is a new product and a new service and wants to stop people from throwing or shooting them down, from grabbing them, from stealing them, from hacking them, making them drop their packages at different times, making the packages come to different locations, from dogs to running them down the street. There's just a lot of security and training for humans that have to be had in order to successfully have this as an option. And then the landing issue is a big one. If you live in a suburb and you have a big yard, it's no problem that you can drop a package in your yard. But if you live in an apartment or in a city, where do you drop it? How do you drop it? Do you lower it down? There's been a lot of issues about the last 100 feet or 50 feet is what they're calling it to get the package to the end consumer. And this is a big issue they're looking at. Do you lower it down? Where do you drop it? There's some companies who have gone so far to say that they want to add a separate chimney system that they can drop packages down so it would end up right in your living room. There's lockbox ideas. There's just a lot of issues that they're working through. And then package size and weight. There's issues. You can only deliver small things of a certain size and weight. For example, you're not going to have a fridge flown to you or your apartment. So there's just some kinks they're working out. And this, some people have said, may be the difficult thing to get through for people to adopt drone delivery systems. But I have a few questions for you guys. I just wanted to get your opinion on drone delivery. Would you ever use a drone delivery system? Why or why not? Do you think this is the most sustainable and viable option for use of technology for companies? Do you think it would be more efficient for them to improve transportation they already have or think of other ways to transport products? And then how would you recommend solving or addressing the human condition problem? A lot of training would have to go into what do you think would be the most efficient way to help customers take on drone delivery as a viable option. Well, I want to thank you guys very much. I hope that you enjoyed this. I had a great time reading up and studying about it. There are a lot of things about drone delivery systems I could go into, but I wanted to give you a brief snapshot of some of the things that have happened and are currently going on with drones. But I look forward to your comments, and I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks.